Hey, how are you guys all doing today? Looks like there's a couple of you guys on board already. I didn't post anything on Top Clack, which is one of the places I normally post stuff, because it looks like they're actually streaming right now, and I don't want to. I don't know. It seems tacky. Probably isn't. They probably don't care, but still, don't want to be that guy. So, and it's totally outside of my normal build schedule, so I'm guessing there won't be a ton of chat in the room today. But in case anybody else joins, they'll just have to wait. So we're gonna build a acrylic tofu today for a customer. Should be kind of cool, actually. It looks pretty cool. I'm surprised at how nice the case actually looks. Hey, how's it going? Tiny Shiny Crumb. I like the name. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna build this, and I kind of really like the way the actual case looks. I don't know. I'm continually surprised by not just the product that KVD Fans makes, but the improvements that they make as they design new things. It's pretty cool, actually. Anyway, yeah, we'll just get started because I'm kind of interested in building this one. Way better than your last name, I'm guessing. The last gamer tag or tag. Oh, nice. Resub day. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. That's awesome. So, without further ado, I'm going to move us over to the soldering rig, and we can get started building something that I think is kind of cool, actually. I think. Hope you guys do too. All right, so as always, let me know if the audio sounds off or messed up in any way. I'm kind of just gonna get started with switch hitter and checking out the PCB on this thing. Customer supplied caps, some SA 1976, which will look really cool, but I think it decided on a somewhat non-standard layout that makes it so that he doesn't actually have all the real caps that are supposed to go on it, and is buying another kit. So we'll just put some of the 1U blanks in those spots and let him pull them off and figure that part out later. Anyway, so yeah, SA 1976 and some 67 gram B2 Zelios, which, you know, some of the best switches, in my opinion. Thanks for the 2 months, by the way, on that sub. I appreciate that. 2 months in a row. That makes you somebody with the maximum number of months that I've been streaming. Yeah. So anyway, without too much further fanfare, for the board, which I think is pretty awesome. This is the DZ60 that we're going to use. And I've turned it on and it's lit up. I haven't actually checked everything yet, so we are going to smoke test, check at each switch position. Building it with this KBD Fans brass plate. And like I said, I'm not shocked. I'm just surprised continually at KBD Fans increasing quality control and just having better and better products. I don't know if the underglow through the acrylic is really my style, but I like, even without glow, I think I like this case. It's clean. It looks nice. The quality seems pretty high. I don't see major defects or anything like that in it. Yeah, when it's lit up, it'll definitely have an effect. Anyway, we're not anywhere ready for this case yet, right? So set this back in its safe place. Doesn't get any scratched up or doesn't get scratched up or anything. Yeah, it's gonna be super pretty either way. Like I said, personally, I would probably roll without the light, but that's just me. I mean, one of the reasons you get an acrylic case or a transparent or semi-transparent case is absolutely to have the underglow, the lighting. And then there's this fancy, shiny brass plate. Oh yeah. So, do a little smoke test on this bad boy. Or girl, maybe. Technically, I don't know if the customer, a boy or a girl, a man or a woman. Not that it's relevant. Although I do wonder what types of boards, if there are trends in men and women, boards they like, keycap sets that they kind of like or not. So by default, it looks like the red is on. And if I'm correct, on these newer DZ60 Rev 3s, there's no reset button. There isn't, I know that. I'm pretty sure what you do is you hold the space bar and B, so shift, yep, B, at the same time that you plug it in. So we're gonna actually solder the switches in before we do all that, so that's why I'm gonna kind of smoke test it as is, instead of normally where I would, well, not normally, but I think where I would be inclined to with this board would be to get the underglow and the firmware all set up, because he also wants kind of a non-standard layout. If I do the window capture, so I got switch hitter up. Looks like I got a window capture up too of something. Anyway, switch hitter's up, so do this doodad first, right? I'm gonna pull it down over this other. Oh, that seems to not be. Hey, what's up, Jackstastic? It's actually cool that you're in here. I wanted to mention that I keep looking at your ultra high molecular weight polyethylene board, and man, that is a more attractive option literally every time I look at it. I can't wait. Oh, helps if I bring focus back to that. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, actually, and the whole concept behind it. I love the material, and I cannot wait to see the product. There are very few boards that I'm more excited about. There's a couple other ones. The J01, I'm more excited than, well, because it's, you know, because it's kind of soonish, potentially. But sooner. I'm a little excited to see my, I got in on the Punchy 1800, so I'm excited about that. I'm not more excited about that than I am the potential for the for... It's the Irma, right? I'm fairly certain your board's called the Irma, if I recall off the top of my head. Hope I didn't get that wrong. I messed up. Anyway, yeah, so that... What am I most excited about? The V-board that I am most excited about existing soon, hopefully, maybe. Although it's not even in earnest interest check yet either, as far as I know. No, well, I do know it's not. Is the Heine Bush Compact. I am super excited about that. But only because it supports Alps. Not only, I mean, it looks pretty, but that's a major driver for me. Not mapped. Okay, that's mapped. I did not see your ultra high molecular weight Alice IC. That's exciting to me. I think the Alice is a cool board. I do. I love the aluminum one with the brass plate or the brass weight. It's really nice. I actually like TKL as a layout for a daily driver type thing more than I like the Alice. Like, I would love to have an Alice, do not get me wrong, but TKL is kind of my jam. Irma will have an Alps plate option. Yes! And it'll be H87, I'm guessing, because you're saying it has the Alps PCB, or Heine does. That excites me. I might literally pick up another H87A Alps. I got in for 2 or 3, I can't remember. So I might get in on another one just for your board, because that is super exciting to me. Like, really, truly exciting. Yeah, I'm kind of crazy stoked about that, actually. Is this a function key, or... I don't know if this is default mapped to anything. Control is, so I'm gonna guess that those are not. Yeah, Irma looks amazing. Is that linked to the Irma, or is that to the Alice? Oh, it's the Alice. I don't know though, man. I might have to get... Honestly, I like ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, so... And for that price, I could definitely see myself just getting in on both of them, honestly. I probably will. Yeah, I probably have to. Fiending for the ultra high molecular weight polyethylene stuff. Anyway, so smoke tested, approved, solid option, looks pretty good. We're gonna get a little more started. What are we gonna do? Pull out the iron and get this baby rolling. I'm trying to remember which stabilizers we ordered for him. I think we just got a kit. I have to look. Actually, I'm fairly certain now that I think about it that we got Zeal stabs for... Gotta bounce to the... Oh, yeah. Take it easy, man. Absolutely. I'll be around. I will be around. Yeah, we got Zeal stabs for him. So... why I did not put them with the board, I don't know. Oh, probably because I received a bunch of Zeal stabs all at once from more than one customer. Very likely. Either way, I know I received his Zeal stabilizers. However, it would help if I knew where they were. I keep all my customer parts over here. Usually. Though I ordered a bunch of Zeal stabilizers for me as well. It's very likely that I just set them off to the side. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, I did. That's where they all are. Kapow. Pow. Yes, I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 6 1/4. Is that all right? Here. And his layout is going to use 1, 2. Oh, he wants a 2U shift. It's bizarre. That is a bizarre layout. Yeah, that's totally a... I didn't... Boop. Oh, I was just going to set it there, but... Bonk. Get a little 2U action going on. Okay. I don't think he has an extra 2U cap in here, so he's gonna have a blank when I assemble this. It's kind of a bummer. I don't know. Maybe there's something else that's 2U in here. Well, I hope the customer comes in. Oh, yeah. So, Foremost Bear, I'm guessing you are the customer. Because, well, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, we can do standard layout, absolutely. Just standard ANSI, yeah, I know what you want. So no arrow keys, right? It's fine with me. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I know that I told you, yeah, we can just put 1Us in those other places. I didn't even think about the weird 2U shift either. But that's okay. I was more focused on the weird 1U shift for right space that you wanted. Yeah. This is an easy solution if you want standard layout. So I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get us some awesome. I'm actually gonna pull this off now. Very standard. Oh yeah, man, I'm happy you're watching too. I normally try and announce, like I said earlier, I normally try and announce this in a couple different places, and one of the places I think I do get some viewers watching from is the Top Clack Discord I post in, and I didn't do that because they're actually streaming right now. I didn't think about it when I decided to add a day because I missed some stuff this week. So, you know, that will happen sometimes. I believe I'm gonna need some more band-aids. I will return very, very shortly because I do need more band-aids to do all 5 steps. Yeah, I think it's gonna look like a truly amazing keyboard, honestly. I mean, like I said, underglow's not really my thing, but the case itself looks pretty fantastic. So I am excited to see its glow. To see how it looks. You do still want Band-Aid mod, right? Otherwise I'm doing this for nothing. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird that it's kind of going out of style right now. I still like it. I love it. I think it's good. I realize there's some people out there that have kind of proven that it doesn't make a huge difference, but proven to them. I don't know. It makes a difference, and I like it. Why did our music stop? That's not good. This music service that I use tends to occasionally, for some reason, just kind of stop. Weird. Anywho, got the matching RGB PC. Okay, yeah, that is actually a really good reason. If you have a cool RGB PC case and lights on your stuff, it's kind of it's a really good reason, I think, to do the RGB on your keyb as well. And you know, there are only so many good options for RGB in cases, in not PC cases, but in keyboards, in customs. So I personally think that translucent cases in the first place are the way to do. And so if you want to do like one of the polycarb customs or something like that, you're looking at a pretty meaty price tag. And so this case is kind of an amazing deal because it looks really good. It looks clean. Like, it's done well. And I don't know. I think that the frosted acrylic is actually a better transmitter of that light, or it's going to carry that light in a, I don't know, in a better way if you want all the RGB look. I believe what I need is a new blade on this X-Acto. This one seems dull. It's okay though, I got a bunch of them. I actually have a container that this can go in. Anyway. What is this? Got the G-Skill RGB memory. Oh. Nice. Is that the... Oh, wait, the G-Skill. I'm thinking of Trident Z. Is that... That's not the G-Skill one, though. That's another popular one. Is that Corsair? Whatever the case is. I like that, the RGB memory, personally. I think it's a cool touch. It's weird that these keep... Oh, we're definitely not. Whatever that is. You have the Corsair Vengeance. Okay. Yeah, I do not have RGB memory. By the time the RGB DDR4 started being like a thing, like I already had, or before I remember it becoming a thing at least, I already had RGB or DDR4 and a fair bit of it, and then the prices kind of skyrocketed, so I didn't want to buy more because, well, you know, expensive. I wasn't into cubes at the time, but, you know, too many things like cubes to get in the way, price-wise. Yeah, I don't remember who makes mine. I think I have something that Mushkin made. And I have 64 gigs of PC3200, I think, in my other rig, because I was at the time doing a lot of photo editing, like heavy Photoshop work. So kind of like went all out on the seemed bigger than I remember. Oh, this is a different Band-Aid type. That's why I was like, why are these so big? Man, now I kind of want to look at it. Well, I'll have to pull it up in a sec. Use this as a template first. Whoa, an RGB SSD. Crazy. That looks really pretty. That is like really, really pretty. Yeah, for cutting these, I do not like this Band-Aid as much as whatever Band-Aids I was using, which is weird because they're all Band-Aid brand. But what are you gonna do? Get your key. Yeah, I mean, so I try and post pictures on the YouTube videos that I upload when I upload. But I do like seeing it with the customer setup if you got something cool like an awesome case, like PC case that matches. Is your PC case mounted on your like desktop or on a wall next to it or something? Like, how do you display your awesome case? Or how are you planning on displaying it? Oh, nice. Oh no. Knocking these things off. One, two, three. I kind of understand now why you're like, yeah, just build it ANSI then, like, because you just want to get this thing there and displayed with your cool. I mean, that it's gonna be cool, man. I'm confident this is gonna look awesome. And it's weird, I never really considered for myself buying SA 1976, but I always kind of looked at it and thought it was a cool cap set to look at. So, like, it's kind of funny because I'm always like, oh, I kind of want to see what it would look like in person if I like it. And I think I've probably seen it before at like a meetup and didn't notice or wasn't paying attention. But like seeing it in person, it's pretty nice. And it'll look cool with this, with the underglow, and like it'll fit well. Which I think is another critical component to why I haven't been keen to build a lot, well, build any for me really, with underglow, because I'm like, man, how do I match that? How do I get a good match to the underglow itself on my rig and in my setup, both to the underglow and to that cap set, actually, when I've looked at it in the past. So I'm kind of stoked that I'm getting to see what I think is going to look actually pretty darn good. Alrighty then. We're gonna put the couple on that we know are in defined spots, so backspace and backspace, enter, shift. Actually, you know what? I built the layout for you. What do you want to be, if we're using a standard layout, think about which of the positions you want to be your function key then. Just FYI. You don't have to know right now or anything. Like which one you want to map layout wise. These band-aids are like not sticking very well, so let me make sure that they actually stick to this board real quick. Never had a band-aid not stick well. It's like it peeled off part of the... It's weird, it totally like... Oh, it's like it delaminated part of the paper that was underneath it. There's like another layer right here. Super funky. Well, we'll see if the other ones did something silly like that. And if they didn't, yeah, we'll need another band-aid section anyway, if that's true, so might as well try the other ones. That one came off. Oh yeah, that sticks well. Oh, weird. Got an Imgur link, huh? Sorry, I gotta check it out, man. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I see what you're going for, man. I totally see what you're going for. It's gonna look cool. Yeah, I like it. Then the white for the CPU, yeah. Yeah, I think that CPU cooler looks cool. I think the whole thing looks cool. And like I said before, I mean, I'm not the guy who does a ton of underglow, although I do have some glow on my case. Some glow. Always fit check the ends. And the 275 and the whole deal. Fit check that. Though I do need one of those. Okay, so we got 4 of those. You got your space bar, you got your 275 shift. Those are the things we need. I mean, obviously these aren't going together. We're gonna lube them, but for now, this is the right way, right? Yep. Okay. I like zeal stabs, but no, I just like zeal stabs. Zeal stabs are awesome. Anyone who's building out there, just for the future, you should know. Get zeal stabs. They're awesome. They are awesome. Sometimes you just get the right parts. I mean, they're a little easier to build with because they don't require as much tuning. That's just true, objectively. However, they're nice. It's nice to use them in general to build with. They're easy to lube because it's easy to see exactly how much lube is on board in the switch. Come on. And get the genuine Zeal ones because, well, I'm sure the EPBT ones are fine in a lot of ways, but nobody stole these ones. Like, I'm not sure anybody did on those, but I've heard that that's the case, that the molds were snagged. So I'm going to check your right shift 2, your 2.25U, because there are multiple places. Whatever. Good enough. Really? Really? We're the first people? Yeah, I don't know. AIO liquid cooling is not too terribly expensive, right? I mean, it's the liquid cooling that, like, the open loop liquid cooling that gets real pricey. I feel like we're half a U over. Listen, just 1 second. We're misaligned. Ooh, look at the total number, bottom row. Yeah, so the smallest it can fit is a 125 on that one side. So This overhang should be correct. Yeah, okay, good. Glad I checked. Oh, okay. This makes sense. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Just wanted to make sure we were in the right spot. Put some switches in here. And these 67 gram Zelio V2s feel real nice. I have to admit. So before we do that, let's just figure out that we're in the right spot over here. Really certain it's right there. It's definitely not that one. Yep. Perfect. Making sure we're lined up right. Oh, I can't see what you guys are saying because I got this all blocked off. Hold on. Thank you for the words. Do you just lube a keyboard one time or does it wear off? Okay, so here's the thing. Technically, it can dry out. That's the reality, but you're talking years, and the reality is, yeah, so it can, but we're using 3204, Trebosis 3204, and sometimes we'll use Crytox 204 grade 0 or 205 grade 0 soon. I ordered a bunch of that. It's not gonna dry out on this, not really. Years, it will be years before you have any kind of a problem with that. And if you were using something like Super Lube or a mix of Super Lube and something else, I would absolutely say yes, it could dry out in a usable amount of time. It's just I don't, you're not gonna get there with this. That's pretty much the reality of it. Years of using it like every day and dust getting in it and stuff like that. Could. And honestly, I think that's more likely to happen with switches than with anything else. Okay, now what we need to do is cut another stab Band-Aid. I'm glad I saved this one. This one was actually wide enough for a... I cut them a little extra wide a lot of the time in case they don't get centered right. So that leftover is actually perfect. Width. Do. So it's not that I was in the zone. Actually, what I did is I brought something up over the chat window. I brought the DZ60 layout so that I could tell. So I always like fit checking this because I don't want to be wrong and then have to desolder and resolder something, because that's a lot of time burned. So I usually just fit check it every time. But I brought the page up so that I could look at the possible layouts that it supported in the bottom to know how far over what meant. And I covered my chat. It's terrible. I guess if I built with DZ60s specifically all the time, I would just know right off the top of my head. Okay, so all of our Band-Aids are installed, which is good, because now we know where we're putting our stabs. Now we'll get to lube in the actual stabilizers. And pull all your keycaps out of the way, because, well, I don't want to hurt those in any way. Put that up there. Oh yeah, fit check all the things all the time, never be wrong. That's how. Okay, there's our 5 wires. That's 1, 3, 4. Should be exactly the right number of stabs because I order them in sets for exactly what you're doing. 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Little tiny makeup brushes. Some Trebosis 3204. Is that totally a measure twice, cut once? Yeah, it's the same principle. It is absolutely the same principle. Like, let's get this right the first time. Because here's really the thing, right? Anybody who's seen the stream pretty regularly, right? Which I think is you, will know that, like, I have had to desolder a board once before that I didn't expect to. Now, that wasn't because, in that case, because I messed up. It was because there was a problem with the board. However, having to do that unexpectedly kind of sucks for me and for the customer, really. For me, for me, either way, if I didn't expect to do it, because the stream just takes a lot longer, the build takes a lot longer. But for the customer, in the case where it wasn't my fault, which was that one, which is because now there's like, hey, we need to stop and reassess, what do we want to do? In that case, he wanted me to do the thing, so it wasn't a big deal. But I mean, desoldering a board for somebody has an added cost when I quote somebody's build, because, well, realistically for me, it's the same as doing a solder job. It's exactly the same amount of real work. And I have to take the same amount of care not to harm a board. The desoldering gun is cool. I don't know, is it super loud on this stream? Like, does it really wreck when it's on? Is it annoying on stream, I guess? I guess I could try and adjust my volume levels the next time I have to use it. I mean, I do rebuilds for people, so it definitely has to come out sometimes to play. Hopefully, usually planned, right? I'll fire it up at some point during the build, and you can let me know. So loud. The gun is cool. I will agree with that part. It is real cool. For sure. Hopefully it's not so loud that it hurts people's ears or anything like that, because then I'll definitely need to adjust the levels. Can't be hurting people's ears. Not conducive to having more viewers. Okay, so these band-aids that have slightly different, I know I've used this kind of band-aid before, I just didn't remember them being this absorbent. These ones hold a lot more lubricant than the other cloth style band-aids. It's not the end of the world or anything, it's just my internal scale for picking the right amount of band-aid lube is off for these ones. These are all pretty good, actually. Okay. I think it would be tough for me to adjust the levels for that and still keep the voice quality. Sure, I mean, so I'll turn it on for a second. Yeah. Okay, so that was a little loud. It's as loud as my voice right now on the thing, as far as I can see on the levels themselves. So probably I need to try and figure out some kind of a filter setting, because I'm sure it's not in the same exact frequency range, right? So I don't know if anybody's seen me lube this part of a stabilizer before, but Zeals are like the best to instruction on because they're clear, and I will do that in a moment on the next one of these. Yeah, I think I'm going to start using 205 pretty exclusively on my stabilizer lubing. Mostly because I bought a bunch of it very recently, and I'll have more of it. And actually, I kind of like it more for stab lubing. It's not going to make a difference. Like, this is... Anybody who's had me do it with 204 or 3204 like this doesn't need to worry. It's just, for me, it'll be a little bit... It's a slightly more viscous, so in order to damp correctly, I think you need just slightly less of it, which is good, because it's more conservative in terms of usage, right? Which is a good thing. This is a little more forgiving in terms of getting the amount right. In general. Yeah, I keep... Yeah, so on the next one of these, I'll totally show you guys how that works. Try and zoom in and let you see firsthand. Okay. So, this little doodad is clear, so it's easy to kind of tell. So is this one. Has a little tunnel in it. 2 prongs on one side. Or 2 holes on one side, this side. two channels that technically the wire could go into. One of them is just hollow, and then one on this side. So the end of the wire goes on the side with one, so that the wire can ride up without interfering with it. So we'll do that little guy first. Right, so you're gonna get a good little glob on there. Right, and in the side that has two holes, in the bottom hole, and go right in, kind of smear that in there. You can go in the big hole on the other side if you want to move it around a little bit. But then what you're going to end up with is some lube in that channel, and you see that there's still a hole in there, but it's narrower. We added something that kind of filled some of the gaps. And so the stabilizer wire will shake around a little less in there when it goes in. And we're going to get a similar amount. Maybe even just a tiny little bit more. Yeah, this is a bit more. On this little doodad. And inside here, we're going to smear it on both sides, that stabilizer could rattle side to side in, because there is play. All right. So when it hits the side of these, you want it to be damped. You want that vibration to be damped out when it smacks the side of that, instead of plastic hitting plastic. You could do a little bit better of a job right there. You want it to be damped just a little bit. Yeah, it's not easier really to do the job a lot. It's a little bit. The thing that's easier on these clear Zeal ones is actually that the legs on these, they're not trimmed, they just aren't long from the factory. So on the other ones, on GMK stabilizers, those legs that hang off the side, front and back, so this way and that way on the very bottom, those have little tines that stick out downward in that direction that flex just a little bit and smack the PCB, but they're pointed, so you don't really want those. They make less of a good sound. On these, the whole bottom piece will smack the bottom at the same time, which is kind of a good thing. Distributes that force a little bit more evenly, causes a little bit less noise when it's damped properly. That's not falling out of favor with anyone, even though Band-Aid modding is kind of going out of fashion, I would say, a little bit. The other thing that we didn't do here is right here on the elbow where the plastic comes in contact, we're going to lubricate that. So we're actually going to pull this out. Well, I'm not actually going to pull this one out too much. I'm going to redo. I am going to pull it out. I'm going to redo this to make it better. So another way that we damp the inside sound is we're going to coat the edge of this wire, and then that elbow where it interacts, where it touches the plastic, we're going to coat that. So it's going to take a bit of lube. So we're kind of going to get lube all over here. This is actually a little light, so I'm going to add a little bit more in a second. It's not a lot light, just a little bit. this is way more lube than I need on this one side. But so that's going to go back in there. And that's properly lubricated. On that one side. So that's kind of what it needs to look like. Yeah, man. I'm trying. I want people to make good boards. Even if, don't get me wrong, I like making other people's boards. It gives me cool opportunities to see cool things that I otherwise wouldn't, because I'm not going to go in on and literally buy every board that's available. It's just, there's not enough money for that, right? I'm going to zoom back out though, up here. Anyway. I want people to have good boards. I'm not really at risk for people knowing so much about this that they're not gonna, use my services or whatever. Even people who are really sharp, who know how to solder, who know how to do this, will sometimes hire the services of somebody like me. I mean, I have to admit, I'm probably not going to do it because I'm too much of a cheapo, but I'm tempted to, hit up Nathan Kim or somebody and be like, hey, you want to build a board for me? Like, and pay them just because, it's nice to have somebody else's handiwork around. It is. To have it made and made right, and you don't have to worry about a thing. Like I said, I'm a little too cheap for that because I have all the equipment and have invested the time and energy into doing this thing right for others. So if I weren't in that exact boat, I think I probably would, honestly. So normally I just put these in after the fact, right? But basically the principle is that the slider component of this comes down and smacks the little cushiony I didn't unscrew one side of this. Smacks the cushiony part of the Band-Aid that's on the board. And then that's, just how that works now. And it's, I think it's a good concept. There may be people out there who don't, who used to like it and now don't do it. But I think that's a fashion statement. It's not really a knock on how good it is. I know people have, maybe I need to review the material more, maybe, to see what they have to say. But IMO, not a problem. So these, there's no risk right here of interfering electrically, so I'm not going to put a little washer there. However, like, there's literally no trace there at all. However, frequently I use washers, and if there are any that are at risk, I will put a washer there. Like over here near the shifts and stuff like that, there's way more of a risk. So anyway, I will not do any more of those. I will just get the washers. I will just get these all situated before I do any of that stuff anymore. Any more lubricating. Yeah, man. I'm happy to hear that. I really am. I really do want to explain it and for people to know how it works and do well. They are screw and stabs, yeah. You saw the screws. That's what I'm... You don't need washers with clip-in stabs at all. Or with plate mount stabilizers either. You just don't. But because there's metal involved in these, you need washers in places where there could be electrical shorting. I mean, plenty of people do it without it, and I have built boards without them, even in places where it looks like a little sketchy before I was building all the boards in the world. And it's much less likely than you think, but it could happen. So the right way to handle that is to use these little tiny nylon washers that I've got, and I'll show them to you in a minute, because there are definitely some places where it's obviously a good idea to do it on yours. But I'm going to build all the stabilizers that are remaining before I do that. What up, Gucci? How you doing, man? How are you doing? All right. I think I need to grab another vial of this. Do I want to use one of the vials, or do I want to use... I have baggies like this somewhere. I think I'm going to use one of these guys, which I think are better in some ways. I think the vials get less grease or stuff on your hands, but these are better because you can easily consume basically all of what's in there. Here's like an empty one, and it's like dead empty almost. How you doing today, Gucci? Probably am gonna ping you on Discord later, see how that project you've got going on is, if you're listening, because I am super interested. Then again, I'm interested in like most board projects, which I think you guys know. Try and get in on all the cool things and see all the cool things. Oh no! It happens, man. What are you gonna do? That sucks though. Yeah, I had something like that too. I ordered a KBD pad, a red one, to kind of try and hopefully match the salamander. I mean, I'm sure the angle's not gonna be right, or it's not gonna match exactly. And I'm very likely gonna jump in on the KBD 8X Mark II, potentially. I think I'm going to. So anyway, that's the question is to get the polycarb one with its matching pad, or to get like a purple and pink, or that dark, or that whatever the blue color is that they have, the gray blue on half and then pink on the other half, or something like that, you know? That's the question for me. DHL, huh? DHL is weird, man. I'm not, I don't hate on DHL, but I definitely don't see them as much as I think I remember them back in the past, and I don't seem to have as good of an experience with them as I do with UPS or FedEx or even USPS, honestly. Though I do receive like Zeal stuff sometimes through DHL, right? And that seems to be pretty quick. So maybe it's one of those you get what you pay for situations, where like if you choose the right shipping options, you still get great service, and if you don't, they're just like, F that guy. Probably not exactly, but partially true. Probably they're not like, well, F that guy. Aw, boo. Yeah, that's kind of one of those boo moments. I really don't like not getting my stuff on time either. You know, when you're expecting something. Hopefully my KBD pad comes tomorrow, though. That would be pretty cool. Though, I have customer builds, so I don't know if I'm actually going to build any of my stuff. I don't know, maybe I will. I'm still not 100% decided on whether I'm going to do a customer board build tomorrow. Because, well, like I said, I have customer builds. If I do, it will very likely be an M65A, a Rama M65A. I had something else scheduled, but the customer last minute kind of wanted to change up an option, so he's shipping me a different part. So I'll do the Rama instead if I do something tomorrow. Which, I mean, it's very possible. Stay tuned. I'll try and keep you guys up to date. I need to contact the customer and make sure he's in the know about when his build will occur, because he expected it to be a little later too. Which, I don't know, I'm not super behind or anything like that with customer builds. I try and keep my queue at around a month. Like 4 boards in the queue at any time, just because I don't want to fall to 0 and not have content to stream. But I also don't want to have a huge enough backlog that people are like upset about how long things take, or upset about, you know, things taking too long. So I wonder if there's like a better way for me. And I try and accommodate customers who are trying to get something on super short notice anyway, but try and like find the best way to communicate exactly when I expect somebody's build. I have a decent enough tracking document in terms of how somebody's build is progressing that I try to keep up to date, but maybe I should just start putting that information in there so the customers know, and then updating it and just being like, you guys need to pay attention to this thing, this document, to know when your build is. Right now I try and like ping them on Reddit to let them know, hey, your build's gonna occur, and I try and do that at least by the morning of, if I'm gonna do it in the evening like this. I'm sure other people have good suggestions. I mean, I know that a lot of the other streamers, some of the other streamers don't. It's just like I'm gonna build it as I get to it, and you know, that is what it is. If you catch it, you catch it. But, and it kind of makes sense, right? Because they got lives too. Everybody's got day jobs. Things going on. Alright. That's the second time my phone has made a sound. I'm gonna check it out real quick. Emails. Things that aren't important. Muted. Vibrate. Yeah, I like these Zeal stabilizers. Highly recommend to anyone who's doing a build. If you can afford to get them, they are more expensive. Zeal stuff is pricey. Always has been, and I'm guessing it kind of always will be. Like, crap, what do these cost? 30 bucks, I think, for these Zeal stabs for this set. 50 if you have a full-size board and want to outfit that. Did it? Okay, cool. I mean, it does mean something. It absolutely does. You don't know what to build. You have too many blue ops laying around and have an SGI 101. Yeah. Either Raven or Leaf 80. They're both cool boards, but I like the Leaf 80 more than the Raven. I don't have one, so I can't truthfully say that I think it's absolutely better, but I like the look of it more. I'm happy to hear that the system worked out for you. I really am. In fact, I think that the feedback is the most important way to know exactly how you're doing. Like, if a customer can tell you what was good and what was bad, that's the best. And actually, I'm pretty happy with the fact that customers, for the most part, do try to give me some information about things that worked well and things that work less than perfectly. I've never had anybody like just, you know, give me something, give me a soul-crushing review, which I guess is good. And it means I'm probably not messing up too terribly. But I like hearing the things that didn't work well or the things that weren't spectacular for them too. I want to make sure that I'm communicating the right things at the right time. I think I spend quite a lot of time trying to, in that process at least, not like it's a ton of my time, but I think what I try and focus on is setting proper expectations. I think that's kind of a key to having any successful business relationship. Everybody having good expectations of what's going to happen. And so that's why I worry about the timeline thing, you know, people knowing when their build's going to be, etc. Also, I want people to be able to participate like you have been. I mean, it's good, you know? You were here and you got to communicate instantly, oh, don't do that layout that I asked you for because I forgot that there was that to you. You know, whatever. You were able to communicate something that was important. I like giving everybody the opportunity to do that. I think it works out fairly well when it happens. Cool. I appreciate that. It's funny, every now and then I'll have a customer that will, or a potential customer, that will contact me and like, and I don't hate them for it. Like, they don't know what they're getting into either, so they're just trying to have good expectations themselves. Like, their first contact will be like, hey, I've got this thing, I want to send it to you, and I want it to play out this way. And it's like, cool, at least they're thinking ahead. But I'm like, I already have a process for how that thing works, and this is the way I want to do business because I've thought that part out or whatever. And it's kind of funny because usually when a customer's like that and they're like driving it or trying to drive it from the beginning, and then they find out that somebody thought that thing through, they were like, somebody else thought, hey, this is probably the best way to set expectations in the beginning, and then they see that, they kind of like are like, oh, okay, well, there we go. There's a process for this. This isn't like, you know, don't get me wrong, like, this is a hobbyist type business for me, right? I'm into this, therefore that's why I want to do these things. But it's not like just this guy just happens to have a soldering iron and know how to work it, so I'm gonna go there and hopefully it doesn't turn out poorly. It's like, oh, no, I'm trying to get it to turn out well, not just not poorly, if I can. It's kind of funny how that works out. The moment you encounter someone who's, man, these are really tighter than I remember them being the last couple times. There they are. Yeah, people are like, boom, done. Tyson. So I got a question for you. I will answer that in just 1 second, but I am curious, Mike Tyson, MK Tyson. Are you the same Tyson who's doing Cerakote stuff? Also, this is Trebosis 3204. It's Trebosis 3204 because if you're about to ask that. Oh, nice, man. Nice. Nice. I've hoped that I'd run into you at some point. At maybe not in like a stream, but in general. Now's probably actually the worst time to ask questions about it. Although you can feel free to tell people about how your Cerakote stuff works, because I am curious myself. You're doing liaison stuff, right? So you have like a shop, I'm guessing, who's doing Cerakote stuff, and you're kind of handling the. You'll be at KeyCon. I do not know if I'll be at KeyCon, but if I am, and it'd be really cool to go. I hope that I'm able to, but I'm not sure I will be able to. If I can, I will talk to you there for sure. Either way, I'm happy that there's someone providing Cerakote stuff in the industry, or in this hobby, really. I mean, I have Cerakoted things before. For my own purposes, and for friends and stuff. And I always respect good stuff. The one question I have about whoever, whatever services is just plain finishes available? Like, are the Cerakote shops willing to do like some kind of battle worn or Spartan worn or stenciled design? Man, everybody's going to KeyCon. I feel like I need to go. It's just a lot of things to do, right? Because I'm also considering trying to go to TwitchCon with a friend, although that's a lot closer than KeyCon for me, because I'm West Coast. Yep, so just finished 60 XT build, pinstripe down the middle of the board. That's cool, man. That is so cool. I'm happy that that's a thing too. Yeah, I've only ever personally done stencil work when it comes to other designs, things other than just plain colors. Yeah, so anyway, I'm using 3204 like I was saying, but I'm getting a bunch of 205 grade 0 in. I made like kind of a really big order from a distributor, and these Zeal stabs are really tight, tighter than the last set I did. So yeah, I ordered a bunch, and I'm super excited personally to use mostly 205 because I like 205 grade 0. Zoinks, I've taken a wrong turn. That link 404'd me. Oh, probably because there's a period at the end. Oh no. It's opening in the in the OBS. It's opening in the OBS whatever browser it's trying to auto do, and I don't have a keyboard plugged in. Irony of ironies right now. Okay. 205 is, I think for stabilizers, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You just use a tiny little bit less because it damps a little better. Oh, wow, man. That stripe is beautiful. That is awesome, man. Thanks, Gucci. That's really, really good. Oof. That is a beautiful board. That is really, really pretty. Yeah, 205 grade 0 is pretty fantastic. I agree. I think for stabs, it's only better because you kind of don't use quite as much to get the correct damping amount in my experience. And I like the viscosity of it just a tiny little bit more, but 3204 is super forgiving. Like, you can use a little too much and it won't like just make things super sluggish, right? It works pretty well in that way. I'm actually trying to find if somebody else is going in on a bunch, like a distributor or whatever, of 3204 or 204 grade 0, trying to find a good source of that as well. I like 3204 for stuff, and I like a lot of tactile switches, so looping switches, 3204 is kind of better, or 204 grade 0, whatever, is kind of better than 205 for that work. If you're doing linears, 205 grade 0 is great. I mean, I don't know, like, has anybody else had good experiences, really good experiences doing tactiles with 205 grade 0? Because most of the people I've talked to, and from what I've felt myself, 205 kind of eliminates a little bit much of the tactility. Though with all the switches that are way more tactile now, maybe it just doesn't matter that much. I don't know. I haven't done it to like a Zelio V2 or something with 205. Now I'm going to have to try. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go to KeyCon now. It's just, there's so many people that are going. Kind of excited for it. It's supposed to be color swapped, where the yellow is going to be the pinstripe and the blue. I mean, I want to say that I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm not. It looks really good as is. I mean, it's hard for me to tell there, it looks like there's a textural difference between the blue and the green. And if I click back on the picture, it looks like the textural difference on the blue. So is that just anodized underneath? Is that an ano blue? And then they put a stencil down and then did the rest in the green. And if they did that, how did they get it to adhere? Yeah, I think it was better that way. I do. Which is funny because I actually almost universally would say I would prefer the accent color to be the greenish or yellowish type color, and for the primary color to be blue. But it just worked. It works really well in that board. Yeah, I totally would have. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'll have to get a board Cerakoted from you. It's hard for me. It's one of those things, like I was saying before, where I was like, you know, it's kind of nice to see other people's work. I would almost be willing to like buy somebody else's service sometime and just, you know, have one of their boards. Be like, yeah, this board is that guy's board. It's his work. But it's hard for me because I have all the equipment, so it would be like a bad investment, right? Because I have the equipment to do my own work, and obviously I'm doing it for other people. It's like I do have the equipment to Cerakote. The thing is that I don't have the skill to do really advanced pattern work. Like, I've done some cool Cerakote stuff, but the people who are doing like really high-end, like wearing, like worn finishes with the two tones, like I've not done that. I don't have the, and it would be really hard for me to want to like take some really nice, like a $600 or $700 board of my own and then sandblast that ano away. And I mean, obviously not sand. Don't use sand as a medium if you're doing Cerakote. But whatever, blast the medium, blast the ano off, and then apply or attempt to apply a type of work that I've never done. Yeah, I love the colors. Alrighty then. Got all those stabs worked in there. Now it's about time to start doing some switch work. I do believe. Get the switches in. And that's what we shall do, guys and gals. This really is a beautiful, beautiful plate. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that these, well, with all of the switches and all of the I don't know. I'm happy with the way this board is shaping up, with the way I believe it will be in the end. Like, really happy with the way I believe it's going to turn out. You're getting in a canoe soon. You don't know the colors on it. You chose random from the latest. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. This is probably a dumb question because you probably have one posted. Do you have a cool portfolio of the work that's being done by the guys you're using? Like, do you, either you have it or do they? Sure you do. There you go, man. Yeah, plug that all you want in my stuff, literally anytime. I'm very supportive of there being more people like this, more stuff like this. Oh, that AEK looks really good in graphite black. Also, I'm a sucker for Alps, you know. Oh, a Fjell. Dang, man. These guys did some cool stuff. Now I just gotta find somebody who can do PVD coatings on brass. And then, like, you know, everyone. Then there's all the different places and things. So I do not know why that music stopped yet again. I don't like it though. Well, that's okay because we're gonna switch channels to electronic staff picks. Different one. Okay, there we go. You're gonna update the album? Yeah, feel free, man. Is this the... I had to go back and look at these layouts again just to make sure I'm looking at it correct. Yep, so it supports a 1U in this position, and it supports 125 and 1.5. Okay, cool. So it should be the second one then. You know what? Pop that one out. Oh no. I will return. I need to go grab my switch puller, which I have somewhere else. Be right back. Sorry about that. I had to run and grab something. I don't know, I have other ones, but this is the one I want to use. Just get a few of these switches in, as usual. What did I miss? Hey, Tyson, thanks for the bits, man. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Hey man, sorry that I was out of town on Wednesday, so I figured I had to make up a stream. No, I have builds in the queue and I needed to get some stuff going. But don't worry, next Wednesday I'll be back. In fact, there is a chance or possibility I will be streaming again tomorrow. Just because. But yes, it is very Wednesday. Faux Wednesday. Pretty sure that's where we need to be. Yarp. Cool. Oh yeah, it's okay. It is okay. I'm not that bent out of shape about it, honestly. Anyway, let's get this going for sure. Get rid of this thing. It's okay. I'm used to it. I'm used to people giving me a hard time about my keyboard builds. No, I'm joking. Nobody gives me a hard time about it. It's great. Sucked missing Wednesday though. I miss my usual crowd. It's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was on vacation. I had a good time and just also like doing my build streams. They're pretty good. They make me pretty happy. I have to get that fan going for just a sec. Not for just a sec. For a while. However. me know if that gets way too loud for you guys. Yeah, I mean, there's really only so much I can do about that sound, even if it were bad. But I can do something, though. I can move the microphone, really. Or adjust the levels. Oh, yeah. Doesn't look like it's seated all the way. Yeah, that one wasn't. I didn't do this corner. What? SOP, man. You do this corner first. Do these corners to corners. It's okay. Okay. So, I wonder who else is going to KeyCon, right? Tyson, obviously you are. I'm guessing the Top Clack guys are. Well, I'm guessing that Brian is, although I don't know. I don't know. I've seen a bunch of other people. Can't remember if Heine said he was. That's a guy I gotta meet and buy a beer for someday. Anyone else here? Boop beep up. I know Tyson said he was, so. Seated. I'm not worried about it these now because that one wasn't seated because I was inserting it, even though it was like one of the first few switches. Few of you from Texas, Novel Keys, yeah, I'm guessing. Nice, his Cerakote at #1, nice. Yeah, I have to admit, it's definitely a thing that I'm interested in trying to do. I just don't know if I'll be able to or not. If I can, though, I'm definitely going to plan to. I just got to check my schedule. Because it's kind of not at a great time of the year for me in terms of my expectation of busyness at my work. I expect there to be kind of a lot going on during the time that it's going on, but that doesn't mean that it will be busy for me. Go to Texas and visit HEB. What's HEB? Why am I not familiar with this? Maybe I am and I'm just not recognizing it. Okay, definitely time to get more in there. HEB is the greatest grocery store chain? Okay, well, no, I'm not familiar with it then. But that seems like an odd thing to be like, yeah, go there and do this. Boop Beep Bep feels strongly about this grocery store chain. So you do not have a stepped caps lock in here. Foremost bear. So I'm guessing you do not want a stepped caps position unless you have another stepped caps somewhere. I won't solder it in quite yet, but you go ahead and let me know if you actually have one somewhere and you want it stepped. I think I asked you about it before, but I'll leave it unsoldered as I put all these in. Head and Whataburger. Okay, you know what? I know people that live in Texas, and I will visit them at some point, for sure. They are good friends, so I will definitely have to check out Whataburger now that you guys are talking about it. Like me a good burger. So I was in the northern Midwest recently, and I've been there before, and the last time I was there, it was the first time I ever ate at a fast food joint called Culver's, which I'm sure plenty of you guys know about or see or whatever, but it was the first time I had ever been there. Not this time, but I think in July of last year, and whoa. I apparently love the thing they call a Butterburger. You wouldn't go back to Oklahoma City? Okay. Getting all these zeals put in. Whataburger in Texas has the best burgers in the country. Changed my mind. I don't know if I can change your mind, man. I've never been there, so I absolutely can't change your mind. I would not dare claim that they don't have the best, as they may have some pretty awesome burgers. And honestly, I generally trust a Texan to do good things with meat. Especially if it's, you know, like barbecue. Although that is not all it's good for, all the meats that are good in Texas. It's just, I do generally trust. Yeah, Culver's is spectacular. Freddy's is really good too. I really like Freddy's. I do. And there are a couple Freddy's around where I'm at. Not like really close, but close enough that every now and then I drive to an area where they are. And that makes me pretty stoked. Like I like that, but I will say that if there were Culver's nearby, it'd be way more dangerous for me. And my gut. All right. Make sure that we got this in the right place. We do. I think it gets even one closer. It can. I don't know if it does. So this board isn't labeled, right? I'm not being stupid. No, it is not labeled. Nope, that was the right one. Let's make sure we got the rest of these in a good place. These 67-gram Zelio V2s feel real good. Frozen custard is basically ice cream, but more delicious and bad for you. Like, more bad for you, that is. Not and bad for you as in ice cream is not. It is. Okay. Bottom row is aligned. I'm going to check that alignment on the side. Make sure not alignment, make sure the switches are all pressed firmly down. Shake Shack is bomb. Have it every time you drive to LA. Now you're talking my language. How far away from LA are you, Gucci? Hey, so my question, foremost, Bear, stepped caps. You do not have a stepped caps in your Bago Keycaps. I'm guessing you were talking about ordering some others. I'm guessing you did not order that. I know I asked you, but I'm making sure. About an hour. Oh, yeah, okay. So you're actually closer to LA than I am. But yes, Shake Shack. Nom nom. Never had In-N-Out. I have a really sad story about In-N-Out. I got food poisoning there like 8 years ago. And more. A little more than 8 years ago. And I have not eaten there since. I can't. I know it's good. And I used to love it. But now every time I'm there, the smells don't elicit good memories. And I kind of can't get over it. Yeah, food poisoning, super OP. Super OP. On my entire existence. And so I don't In-N-Out anymore. Kind of a bummer. Which is sad, because I know objectively it's a tasty fast food joint. It is. Trying to think of other really good fast food joints. It's kind of surprising to me that some of the biggest fast food joints in the country aren't actually the best tasting ones. Like, I don't know how they become the most popular ones if their food isn't awesome. I mean, I understand the McDonald's story and how it got big, but it was kind of like the first to do it. To do the super ultra mega mass production and franchise model for fast food. But crap, I mean, it's really like the fast food, right? The originator of true fast food. But for everybody else, I don't get it. What? You live in Wisconsin, you don't have them there. Yeah. Taco Cabana is pretty good, huh? I've never been there. Never been there. Okay, here's one that I think is good. People may disagree with me. I think Del Taco is good. Not Taco Bell. Del Taco. Oh no, totally. You can't beat a local Mexican. Totally. But I mean, that's true of most types of restaurants, right? Like, no fast food place is gonna beat like a great local place. What I mean is I don't understand how some of the best chain fast food places are some of the smaller ones. Really, like, we're talking about Culver's and Freddy's and places like that, and they're not that big. They have a lot of locations, but they have nothing compared to McDonald's or Hardee's / Carl's Jr. or Taco Bell and like some of those places are pretty terrible in my opinion in the grand scheme of fast food chain restaurants. Tots are good. Dude, Del Taco is like a hidden treasure of cheap fast food. Their burger is good. It's a place with taco in its name, and their burger is good. The patty, don't get me wrong, the shredded lettuce or whatever that they put on it. Who puts shredded lettuce on a burger? Gross. I just order it without that. But the actual patties, cheese, it's really good. Also, any place that carries tater tots, even though I don't eat a ton of potatoes, it gets extra points from me compared to just having fries. Okay, I'm not soldering in the caps key still. So you confirm for sure. You want standard caps, not stepped. Unless maybe you did above and I missed it. Hash brown greater than tots. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hash browns greater than tots, greater than fries. If we're talking about the potatoes. Though, I do prefer my hash browns burned. Or what a restaurant would call them burned. I'm not talking about like charred black, but crispy. So I pretty much always have to special order my hash browns. Potato locos from Taco Mayo are amazeballs. I have not had Taco Mayo. Man, you guys are talking about all sorts of places I've literally just never even heard of. Apparently my fast food reputation is not so strong. We are almost done with this. Alright, because you have not told me. Soldering in the non-stepped caps location to match the keycaps that I have for you. In hopes that you did not also buy a stepped caps or something. Little round tots with like a yummy Cajun seasoned salt on them. Oof. Now I need the salty novelty key for something. Alright, so let's go back over to switch hitter. Bink. Let's clear that. Plug it back in. Check it out. All the glows are still on. No, we kind of didn't expect those ones. These two to do anything right now. Okay, so I kind of used QMK configurator to program in a layout for you based on your previous layout. Maybe, I thought. Oh yeah, I did. So, let me get us a window capture. Can I do Chrome? No. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna have to give you a new layout up here. New layout. So let me choose an ANSI layout. ANSI, okay. Why is it loading the default? Oh, come on. So the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is because I am trying to get you a menu key. So the question is, in this position, I know this isn't your board, but in this position, which one do you want to be your function? I'm just gonna make it this one. You can reprogram it whenever you want. I'm doing it so I can get the backlighting effects different. Yeah, this one. Okay, this will be your function. This is, I'm just gonna make this Windows. So that I can do your RGB stuff. So this is going to be keyboard settings. I'm gonna do, before we do anything crazy, I'm gonna put, this is gonna be your reset button, and then escape is gonna be, and then function 1 is gonna be going to debug. And then plus and minus are gonna be brightness on your LEDs. Brightness up, brightness down. And then RGB mode is going to be like Z and X. Okay. I'm going to download your JSON, your keymap JSON, and then I'm gonna compile that guy. And that's gonna take a minute because this computer isn't that fast, so. I'm programming, Regalicious. I am doing, this is a DZ60, and we're doing a Tofu Acrylic. And yeah, man, I build keyboards usually every Wednesday, just FYI. Feel free to, you know, come join us some other time. I think this is gonna look really, really good, this Tofu Acrylic. Thanks for following, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay. So I'm gonna move that guy out. Am I gonna move that guy out? I am. Did that finish the QMK thing? It did. Download the firmware. Okay. So now I'm going to pull up QMK configurator. And if you give me 1 sec, I will set this other window capture to capture QMK toolbox. Okay, I am gonna turn that off for a second though, because I want to browse to the file. Turn it back on. Hey, thanks for the bits. Tiny Shiny Crumb, thank you so much. That shouldn't be on top of anything. So yeah, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. I always do it. Lubed, not lubed retooled blacks on this. Oh, you're saying you did. Sorry, I missed it. Yeah, you just finished a Tofu build. XT60, okay. Which, fine, right? Because 60s are all universal. Great. Okay, yeah, the aluminum version, I kind of agree. I think this is going to look real hot, though. This guy's board is awesome. Retooled blacks are cool. I'm not a huge linear guy, but I do like that. Okay, so let's expand this so we can kind of look over here. for a second. Anyway, now that we're looking at this, let's put this thing. It should be hold shift or space and B as you plug in, I think, with a DZ60 to get it into programming mode. Maybe. Okay, so it is not in HID now. Yep. Okay, so I was right with being space. What's going on here? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, space plus B. So that's what I did. And we still do not seem to have detected this guy on... Oh, you know what, it helps, probably? Well, actually it shouldn't be. Like, this should not matter. I believe it is an at Mega 32U4, right? Yep, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Space, yeah, space does. Yeah, you did. Here, I'll actually show you guys. Oh, it won't in this mode. Space. And it even shows space, so it's not like some weird left or right space. And this is B. So it should absolutely catch it. And I mean, the lights aren't coming on, so it's obviously in the correct mode. But my QMK configurator does not find it. So you know what that means. I'm actually going to just try this on my other system. Maybe, hopefully, some driver is messed up or something. Which is fine, because I'll switch us over to that system in just one moment. It's obviously going into programming mode. So, I'm going to suppose back into this. And I will... well, this is going to be awkward. Because I have that file. Thanks for following, Milk Coma. Nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab this DZ60 file and do a... Oof, this is hard. What? Cool. That was difficult. No, it wasn't. The TKL that I had up here before it's an AliExpress case with an LFK plate and PCB and Alps Blues. And it has like a tie-how set on it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool board, actually. I'm a big fan of it. So I'm going to put it back up here so you can take a look at it as I'm switching over to my other rig. That's okay, though. That's going to happen like pretty much instantly, so don't get too attached for the moment, because this other one is better. Hopefully that wasn't super, super loud. I did that kind of live. So you're gonna ask what this is. Yeah, it's tie-how Dolch. So this board is SGI granite. It's a salamander with Alps Browns and a PBT plate. So this is a more impressive board, in my opinion. So I'm gonna do my little QMK configurator over here. Of course, I don't have it all set up on my desktop or on the taskbar over here, so on this rig, but that's okay. You guys might not get to see this one, but hopefully it just auto detects on this one. Okay. Oh, and see, it recognizes it on this one. So it was some kind of a driver thing, for sure. But that's okay. I have that hex file and moved it over to a network location, so I will fix it. All right, and there we are. So now we should be able to do a function Z. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now we'll go back. We'll build the board up over there, and we will get this going. Give me 1 sec. All right. Hey, so is this a little bit loud? Yeah. All right, that's a little bit better. Accidentally turned the volume up. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. We're gonna get this thing built right on up. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. The sexy salamander is sexy. I love it. Have I seen the set up on GB right now, GMK Metropolis? I have, and it's some hot shit. It is awesome. So right now I'm kind of planning on GMK Waves Mizu when it comes out, 9s for sure, and I feel like there's something else that I'm not remembering to say. Anyway, Metropolis is on the list, but it's at the bottom of all of those. Yeah, 8008. I like 8008. I actually like Metropolis more, I think, than I like 8008. Handerbite. Handerbite. Why does that sound familiar? Do you have a link to that, off chance? I have not finished quite yet. I did get it programmed, though, just a second ago. That was the thing we were having a hard time with. So now is when we're actually going to assemble into the case, and it's going to look awesome. This case, by the way, for anyone that's watching now that missed it when I was talking about it earlier, is stunningly beautiful, honestly. Oh, GMK Handerbite. That's right. That's what this is. I am not going to get it on that one. It's very flamboyant. Yeah, I had issues with QMK Toolbox on this system for some reason reading this DZ60. So it had to have been a driver issue or something, because on my main rig it totally worked. Anyway, yeah, so what I was saying, I do really want to plug this. I'm not sponsored by anyone because I'm not really necessarily trying to be. I love this, and I am continually impressed by everything that KBD Pens puts out. Everything gets a little bit better and a little bit cleaner, and that's a group buy that I am looking forward to, is their KBD 8X V2 plus its matching pad. I'm having a hard time determining whether I want the polycarbonate one or one with like a half pink and half that that darkish blue that they have. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. This is a great looking board, and we are going to get it all finished up. Then we'll put these caps on, this SA 1976. Take a cool glamour shot, look at it, do a little typing test, see what you guys want, see how you guys like it, and how the customer likes it, honestly, because he's in here, and that always makes me happy. I love it when the customers join in. Polycarb is expensive. It's expensive acrylic. It isn't expensive acrylic. Polycarb has some other properties that are really cool, and it's a little more translucent than this frosted acrylic. So, but I do see where you're going with it, and I do agree that it's maybe not everybody's cup of tea. I don't know. I like it, and I like acrylic too. It's fine. Alright, we'll try and clean up some of these fingerprints on the plate when we got this in here. So there is a little bit of, and this is the kind of thing with KBD fan stuff that sometimes, and this isn't actually that bad for a 60%, but this is the kind of thing that I experience that I don't love about KBD fans, is the play, right? So now it's going to take a little bit more effort to align it, potentially. It's just truth, I think. So I'm gonna, hopefully these are ferromagnetic. They are, that's great. Polycarb is here to stay. Yeah, I agree. It is. And it's not a bad deal. I like polycarb. The question is, what do I get with that board specifically? Do I do a polycarb version of that board? I'm, like, Jackstastic was in here earlier, and I'm excited about his ultra high molecular weight polyethylene stuff. I'm kind of curious to see how well that transmits light. Hopefully it's a little bit muted. Depending on how thick it is, it will be. It's generally a more opaque material than this, and than frosted acrylic for sure, or even acrylic of any kind. So I'm screwing these in right now, a little loose. Supreme cutting board, yep. Irma, yeah. And the Alice too. I'm excited for both of them. I'm kind of thinking about jumping in on both, but I'm definitely going to jump in on one, and it'll probably be the TKL if I only do one. It kind of depends on when he does the GBs, like how much fundage I have available to spend on you know, fairly expensive boards. They're going to be made in the US, which makes the price go up. I'm not against it at all, though. I support it. But it will make it slightly more expensive. So, you know, that's going to be a factor for a lot of people, I would guess. Jump in on number 2. Maybe, man, maybe. Again, like, all this stuff kind of depends on where I'm jumping in, right? Or, like, what else I'm in on right when they launch. Right when stuff is available. Are you super excited? I can tell you look like you want to see this thing. Let's do a little sneaky peeky of the lights. All right, enough sneak peek. I hope all of us get the keyboards we want, except number 2, because that's yours. Yes. All right, so let's put a couple caps on here to see. I don't want to delay this too much. Let's put a couple caps on here to kind of see what we're looking at alignment wise, since it will not be perfect. Right off the bat, we're going to have to do some alignment. Is the escape key not in here? I thought the escape key was red in SA 1976. We're going to put all these on anyway, so. I guess I need to look at a picture of SA 1976 so that I know exactly what colors go where. Is that not on? Ah, SA. Oh, it's blue. There we go. Alrighty then. Stem typer extraordinaire, I know, right? It looks cool, and the quality is really high, like, you know, other signature plastic sets. So this should be there. I'll just try not to put anything in that's gonna interfere with a, like that would interfere. So this is left control, that's what I was looking for. That can't go on yet. That can't go on yet. Just trying to get a good look at how this lines up. Yeah, that can't go on yet. So we can get these kind of okay, so escape's going to be teal, right? So let's, there we go. My backspace I think is brown, right? So in a brown control. Can't put that in yet. So we got all 4 of these corners, right? So if we push it down kind of the bottom, We have an ever so slightly smaller gap at the bottom than the top, which we kind of expect. If we push it all the way to the top, it's much more noticeable and pronounced. We go left, way more pronounced, right, way more pronounced. So this needs to be kind of centered. And this needs to go ever so slightly up. Maybe even a little more. Maybe a little bit much. So unfortunately for the customer, he may end up having to realign this a little bit on his own. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Just it is possible. Due to shipping. I will try and tighten this down appropriately. However, it's absolutely possible that it could slip if it took like a fairly big hit in shipping. Okay. I mean, if the box got jarred pretty heavily, could definitely play a role. Okay. Looks pretty good. Okay. So now I'm gonna try to pull some of those fingerprints up off the plate where they have touched. Just, you know, wipe them up because they have a little bit of lube from my finger on there. Pretty hard to get all of the Krytox off of your fingertips. All right, fine. Isopropyl, 99.9% isopropyl. Try not to get that all over. By the way, when you use any kind of chemicals, you should know what will and will not hurt, especially around plastics. What will and won't hurt plastics that you're dealing with. Alcohol should be fine on acrylic in limited contact. Just, you know, FYI. Keep that in mind anytime you do something like this, boys and girls. Don't want anybody to harm their stuff. It is shiny, and that's pretty close to as good as the fingerprint stuff is gonna get. It is shiny brass, and so, well, granted it's going to be hidden by the keycaps, but, you know, still want it to be pretty good. All right, let's get these caps on here. And then we can take a look at this thing with its pretty, shiny awesomeness. Oh yeah, we get to do this now, don't we? Is this all here? I think it's here, right? Yeah, it is. Oh, and there's these over here. So, I guess the 1976 goes right there, right? Super. Sometimes you got to think about it, you know? All right, so anyway. What am I missing? M&M keyboard. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really pretty, man. I don't know. It's not my exact style, but, you know, I'm fairly certain the way this is shaping up right now, I would totally drive this keyboard if I had one. Like, absolutely. IO. I mean, it's not a question. I would absolutely drive one if I had it. The big bar or the little bar go on top? Big bar, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it is quite pretty. Did I really? Oh, I put the M. No, wait. Yeah, bracket racket. This is in the wrong place. I was like, where? Yeah, this looks pretty awesome right now. Like, really awesome. Yeah, man. Good choice, honestly. This is quite pretty. And seeing this keycap on a board finally, I'm much more a fan of it. So, is there a sculpted F? Because you have a sculpted J, and that would be weird for there to not be. I mean, you have other caps over here, I just don't know. They were in a completely separate set. So, oh, there is a sculpted F in here. So I'm guessing you want your sculpted F. I would. Sculpted is better. It is all R3. It is all R3, but there's still a sculpted cap. Yeah, I prefer the sculpted homing keys too. Or the home keys, rather. What? Okay. Anyway, this is crazy beautiful. And then when I plug this in, it's gonna look, you know, it feels pretty substantial too for acrylic. What I did not do is put your bump-ons on. I'm gonna do that before we go too far because I do not want it to take any damage. Deep dish, scooped. Did I say sculpted? Yeah, scooped is what I meant. Putting your bump-ons on. Because we're about to go off of this soft acrylic. Well, there's still a desk mat over there, but still. I did mean scooped. Thank you. So there was some kind of, the very first time I pulled this out, because I did inspect it, which I do with all customer boards, by the way, once they're shipped. It's part of the process. Customer knows because it was, in fact, called out on the tracking document that I gave him, the quote doc/tracking. Anyway, I pulled it out, and there was like a powdery kind of residue on part of the board. Well, it wasn't really dense. It wasn't like a ton. It was just maybe manufacturing, like from the milling of it, maybe some residue. They were really small chips, so it was almost like talc was covering it. And so I did wipe that off with a light alcohol wipe, not a 99% alcohol wipe. And then there was something on the keycaps, I guess, right? I mean, I ultrasonic cleaned them, so they're pretty good now. There's a shine, but there's no residue. Anyway, so very, very, very pretty. Let's plug it in over here real quick. And we'll go back over to the other spot where there's a better camera. Ooh, guys. Guys and girls, look at this. Look at this. This is actually really awesome. Yeah, man, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me build it. Honestly, it's pretty stellar. So we're gonna go back over to the other station in a sec, but real quick, I'm gonna do some switch hitter action. Just cool. Kind of like we expected, right? And then this is your function key. And I didn't program any crazy functions. This is reset. This is reset. This is debug mode. So this will get you back into programming mode. So you don't got to do the B in space. It's this and this, and you don't have to plug it in. It'll go into the mode. And then these guys change your lighting modes, which I'm sure we can do all sorts of crazy lighting modes. We can go back. So forward and back work. Oh, now it's gradienting. And then this is brightness down or brightness up. And I'm gonna leave it, oof. Yeah, leave it bright for now. Anyway, we'll go back over to the other station and we will switch the audio and stuff, and I'll turn off the music and we can do a typing test on it real quick. You can hear what it sounds like. Hope everybody likes it. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a copy of the JSON file and the hex file when you send me your email address. Actually, I already have your email address. I'll send you a copy of the JSON and the hex so you have the layout information. So we're gonna move over, and it will not be very long now. So now that we're over here, turn the brightness down just a little bit. This is a pretty cool one for this board. It's kind of interesting. There's like a million modes to this. I'm guessing there's all sorts of fade and breathing ones. Yeah, I haven't looked crazy into them. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to give us a good pause on this music. Get my mic set up so that it's in a good position for an audio check. Are we 4 or 5 inches away? Pull up our Firefox browser over here. Get us to 10 fast fingers. Apparently I'm not logged in. That's weird. Let me do that real quick. Oh. Okay, we're not going to log in because I don't want to, do the thing here. But we'll pull that back up. All right. It's going to be bad. I've been doing real bad on typing tests lately, but Okay. That was, it was bad, but actually surprisingly better than, because I was completely cold. I've barely typed at all today. Really just like logging in and to a computer, and like I typed like 5 sentences at work today. I was busy in meetings and stuff, so that's not too bad for completely cold. Anyway, and you could tell I kind of sped up, so I don't feel too bad. But you guys don't really care that much about that. I think what you care about is this beautiful freaking board right here. I hope that it sounded good. Yeah, I think it is going to look awesome with your setup, man. And I really hope that you send us pictures. Drop in on a stream sometime. Send pictures of what this thing looks like in your actual rig. I would really appreciate it. Wednesdays at 6:30. It's pretty much every week. Today, it was just a target of opportunity, and because I missed it, thank you guys all for really joining the stream. If you guys have anything you want to say, or any cool things, by the way, that you guys want to share, any cool upcoming projects or group buys or interest checks or anything that you guys are interested in, feel free to talk about it in the chat. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked that I built this board. I've been kind of looking forward to this. It's like a secret looking forward to it, right? Because I had all these other builds, like NLZ, GHV2, right? That Unicorn recently, Alice. And I have some other cool upcoming boards. There's a possibility I'll stream again tomorrow. And if I do, it'll be an M65 that gets built. But this I've really been looking forward to. I really wanted to see what this cap set looked like, and this cool acrylic Tofu case. It looks gorgeous. I hope that, Foremost Bear, I hope that you love it in person. It's quite stunningly beautiful. I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. It looks great. It's a little bright. It looks better in person than it does on the camera. Actually, it kind of blows out the camera when it's all bright like that, but looks really good in person. Anyway, yeah, you're absolutely welcome, man. I'm happy that I built it for you. I'm happy that it came this way. Yeah, the M65 is great. I love it too. I'm looking forward to that build too. Yeah, this is great. Well, it's a brass plate, right? So the brass plate feels kind of like a brass plate. It's really stiff. It doesn't flex at all. That's what I would say. So here, let's hear a little bit of the sounds, I guess. We'll turn off this Firefox browser thing so I can use it to kind of type. So you can kind of hear a little bit of that harsh brass sound as it pushes in like that. I don't know what to really tell you other than that. I mean, it has some sound for sure, but it's kind of awesome. I like brass plates. I like hard plates. I like steel. I like brass, but I also like soft plates that are flexible, like that that Alps salamander over there with a PBT plate. In fact, my plan is, because it has a Liku, I think it has a Liku L3. No, it has a Time PCB in it. Is to build it with one of Heine's, and I have an MX plate for it that I'm probably gonna, a PBT plate for it. I'm probably gonna use one of Heine's Thin Boys on it, like, because I want to feel that cool flex. It's nice, but I also like hard rigid plates. It's nice. It's you know, you switch back and forth. I like them all. I like the way this feels. I don't know if it would be like a keyboard that I want to write a novel on. Maybe, you know, maybe it'd be a little brutal on the tips of your fingers if you're a light typist. For me, that's probably not that big of a deal. These are 67 gram Zelios, and I like them, but I mostly use like 78 gram Zelios because I like the heavier feel, although these do feel pretty fantastic. Yeah, I don't know, it feels good. It gives the board a little bit of heft, right? I mean, it's not super heavy. In fact, I keep forgetting to do this on stream sometimes, so I'm going to weigh this board. I do weigh them, and on the YouTube channel, I usually put in the comments what the weight of a board is. So this one right here is 28.81 ounces. So what is that? A pound and 12 ounces? A pound and 3/4? 28.81. That sounds right? So, yeah, 1 3/4 pounds basically, or 1.8 pounds. 1.8 pounds, just a hair over 1.8 pounds. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. 1.8 pounds for acrylic case 60 is not too bad. It's not the heaviest 60 for sure, but it's also a plastic case. When it comes down to it, it's kind of great. I'm going to clean up a little bit of the lubed fingerprints that you can't see at all on camera. Maybe you can. Right there, there's like a tiny little bit of lube. I'm going to clean that up. Alcohol wipe if you get fingerprints on it. Don't leave the alcohol sitting on it for a long term. Yeah. It does sound solid. It is good. Have you not used a board at all with a brass plate? So here's the thing, right? I think brass is the right choice on a board like this, actually, and I'll tell you why. This is a tray mount 60, right? So it's already gonna be pretty brutal on your fingers compared to a top mount or compared to some other mounting style. And that's gonna be real common with 60s. So I kind of like brass in 60s when I do them, mostly because you're gonna not get a lot of flex off of that in the first place. You just aren't. So I really feel like you might as well do brass. You might as well make your 60 heavier and do that. If you don't like the sound of brass, I kind of understand that, so maybe go aluminum. But I see no point in choosing something super flexible personally. I guess that's my opinion. Everybody can have their own. Yeah, if you had a less solid mounting type than tray, I would actually say that going with another option would be fine, but it's just not a thing in the world of 60s. Anyway, I hope that you love the board. I hope that everyone here really likes the board. I hope that everyone enjoyed the build, learned something about stabilizer lubing, or any of the other topics that we talked about. Feel free to contact me if you guys have questions or comments. And I'm gonna step off, guys, unless anybody has any questions. All right, you guys have a great night. I will catch you guys on Wednesday if I don't catch any of you tomorrow. Absolutely. You're absolutely welcome. Take it easy, guys.